Okay, well, let's now cross back to Ramallah and see if we can speak with Nebal Farsakh. She is, as we were saying, the spokesperson for the Palestinian Red Crescent. So I think you were answering the question as to whether this must be a welcome pause for yourself and for aid agencies alike on the ground.
Absolutely. It's a welcome pause for every Palestinian who live in Gaza Strip. For over 7 weeks, Gaza has been under intense bombardments that is taking place day and night, where people don't feel safe anywhere. So basically, these 4 days are just an opportunity for people even to breathe, because basically there's no safe place in Gaza, and they have been under intense bombardments, which has resulted in losing their loved ones, losing their homes as well. Many, they wanted really to check on their loved ones. Others, they wanted even to check on their homes. And let's remember, there is dozens of people, or even hundreds, are still trapped in their homes in Gaza City and the north, and they are missing. We have received, as the Palestine Red Crescent, many phone calls from desperate people checking and asking about their families. They have lost connection with them for over 10 days, don't know even if they are still alive or not, because basically dozens of people or hundreds of people are trapped in their homes in Gaza City and the north, and because of Israeli military and tanks surrounding the area, they even unable to leave their homes. Many have called us and mentioned they have injured people inside the home. Others have killed people inside their home. And unfortunately, they can't even bury their loved ones who are trapped with them at the same home. And unfortunately, even us as a humanitarian workers, paramedics, feel helpless because we couldn't respond to dozens of phone calls who are in desperate need for our work and for our help. So these days will obviously facilitate the work of humanitarian workers, first responders, along with rescue teams, to transport dozens of people who are killed and still in the streets of Gaza and the north, and trying to save people if they are still alive, because obviously dozens of people who are injured unfortunately did not get even urgent medical services. As for the work of us as a humanitarian agencies, the most important thing is increasing the number of aid trucks that will be getting into Gaza Strip. As you know, the daily average trucks that are allowed to get into Gaza since the entry of humanitarian aid is around 45 trucks. The Palestine Red Crescent teams, along with the UNRWA, lead the reception and the distribution process of the humanitarian aid. According to the information, the number of trucks will be high, which is almost 200. We will still also having a challenge, which is only a humanitarian corridor entrance that is open from Rafah crossing border. And when we work in full capacity from 6 a.m. until 12 midnight, we only can receive 120 trucks. So now the challenge is how our teams will be able to receive around 200 trucks without even opening another path or another corridor to allow the entry of humanitarian aid and to make the reception process quicker and faster.
And so, Nebal, I mean, it seems that there is so much for you and other aid agencies to do on the ground across these 4 days. Your focus is, of course, as you were saying, on providing critical aid to people in the Gaza Strip across these 4 days. But is anything that you can do? It's going to be pretty much a drop in the ocean.
Obviously, yes, because basically over 2 million civilians now are in desperate need for food, water, medicine, fuel, everything, and even for medical care services. Now, even a Gaza Strip, south of Gaza Strip, after over 1.5 million Palestinians are internally displaced, now it's a great challenge for you if you live in Gaza to even find food for your kids or your children to feed them or find water. So this humanitarian aid is still a drop in the ocean, taken into consideration that this escalation has been going continuously for over 7 weeks. So now the market is empty. If you go to any grocery store or whatsoever, you can find empty shelves with nothing. So we need enough aid to feed over 2 million civilians. On top of that, we are in critical need for medical supplies and medicine along with the fuel. So the percentage of medical supplies from the total number of trucks is only 20%. So since the number of trucks will be higher, we hope we will be receiving more medical supplies and medicine to support the work of hospitals, taken into consideration that now only 9 hospitals out of 35 are still operating partially, and they are in critical need for medical supplies and medicine, and most importantly, fuel. We call on the increasing account of allowing the entry of
Okay,
fuel.
Nebal Farsakh, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you so much, and the best of luck to you and your colleagues across these 4 days with the cessation of violence. Thank you so much.